sometimes I'm always afraid of if I'm talking too fast. I'm trying to I'm trying to find a balance between being fluent, and then also not talking too fast.
We're going to listen to Unique 3 times, and I want you guys to tell me what you think about the speed.
Hi, I'm Unique. I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in international education. Hi, I'm Unique. I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in international education. Hi, I'm Unique. I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in international education.
Okay. What do you guys think speed-wise? Unique, you can say things too. Things you notice about the speed.
Uh, I like the second one
Second one.
most. Yeah.
I think for my first version is definitely too fast if compared to the other one, but um, for the last one will be too slow, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
not that like me. Not
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the first one's really fast. Let's listen to that first one again.
Hi, I'm Unique. I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in international education.
Yeah, specifically the part that's going too fast for me.
I'm from Shenzhen, China. Hi, I'm Unique.
That part's pretty fast. Hi, I'm Unique. Hi, I'm Unique. Versus like, let's give the hi some room, right? Let it breathe.
Hi, I'm Unique.
Hi, I'm Unique. Versus hi, I'm Unique. Even like just a little pause there would have been very, very helpful.
I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in international education.
The part where I'm working in international education, that's the part that I think speed wise is the strongest. I like that a lot. Okay. I think the things before it are a bit fast. The other thing is like, there's a time where going fast is actually very appropriate. I just don't know if it's the very first, like, okay, let's imagine you put this video out, like maybe you have it on your website, you're trying to introduce yourself to people or something like that. Cool, whatever the motive is. This is the very first thing they hear from you. They don't know how you sound, they don't know you at all. This is the first thing you're hitting them with.
Hi, I'm Unique.
It's like, whoa, okay, hi, Unique. Like it's just like you're really kind of going in on it. Um, the intro is maybe the very first thing you say is maybe the moment to allow to breathe a little bit more. Um, but again, this part,
And I work in international education.
I like that part. I think that part sounds really solid. If we go back to your audio, so some places that maybe some effective places where a pause could have been.
Hi, I'm Unique.
Pausing after hi.
Hi, I'm
Because that hi has a lot of nice energy to it too.
Hi, I'm
Like hi, hi, hi. That's nice. High pitch. I like the little waver on it. It's like hi. That's good. Let that breathe a little bit more.
Hi, I'm Unique.
Versus hi, I'm Unique. You know, it just lets it linger a little bit more.
I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in international education.
I'm from Shenzhen, China. I'm from pause Shenzhen, China, and I'm working in international education. Just some little pauses there. Okay. Unique. Can you try saying that for me again? Maybe a little bit more pausing.
Hi.
Oh, that's a hold on. That's a very different. Well, hello. That's a very
Hi.
different, very different vibe than the original one.
um. Okay. So more breath. So hi, I'm Unique.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Unique. I'm from Shenzhen, China. But isn't it too slow? No?
Do the whole thing. You're stopping yourself before you even say the whole thing.
Okay. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna get started with the whole. Do you want me to finish
The
the
whole
whole
thing. Whole
sentence?
thing. I need the whole
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Unique. I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I'm working international education.
Give me the original hi you did. Hi.
That's the afternoon high, and now I'm in the morning. I can't do that high. Okay, let me try it.
Hi.
Okay. Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah. Hi.
Okay, you want me to do the just longer high,
And then
and
breathe. Yeah.
then okay, and then breathe.
Hi.
Hi, hi, I'm Unique.
Longer
I'm
on the
from
pause.
Shenzhen, China.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Okay. The next thing I'll say, after you say the hi, lean in. Hi,
Hi.
I'm unique.
Lean in.
Hmm.
Closer to the camera.
Hmm.
Okay. After I saying hi. So it will
Yeah.
be
Hmm.
hi. I'm unique.
Yeah.
Oh.
Try it. Whole thing.
Okay. Hi. I'm unique. I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I'm working international education.
Okay. So I thought that pause was a little bit more appropriate. I like that pause more. Okay. Yeah. And that time you take from moving from where you are to leaning into the camera, that helps with the pause too to kind of modulate.
Hi, I'm Unique. I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in international education.
Okay, we already talked about the camera. You're looking at my neck. I'd like you to look at my eyes. I'm up here. I'm not down here.
Hi, I'm Unique. I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in international education.
Okay, this is actually a big note. If you guys ever have to like talk to a large group of people, it can be helpful. Like if people are if you're on a stage and people are out, it can be helpful to look at people's shoulders. Or it's going to be hard to do this on a video, like a selfie. It's going to be harder to do, right? Because the camera's so close to you, so people can see if you're looking. It looks like you're looking past me. It doesn't look like you're looking at me. But if you're talking to a group of people from a stage, it can be helpful to look at people's shoulders, because if you look at people's shoulders from the stage, people are going to think you're looking at their eyes just because of the distance. And the advantage too is that the person that's like right here and the person that's like right here, they're also going to think I'm looking at them. So just a little hack for you, okay, for eye contact. Speed is going to be the big thing here, Unique. We're just really move. The other thing I'll say is,
Hi, I'm Unique. I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in international education.
okay, this sort of intro, it almost feels like, have you guys been in a situation where there's like 20 people introducing themselves one at a time, saying who they are and stuff like that? Like, hi, my name is this, I'm from this, like icebreaker type thing. No one's going to remember this. I'm just in honesty, Unique, no one's going to remember any of this. They're going to be like, oh, that's nice, that was pretty just cool, that's unique. And then later, going to be like, where are you from again? Like, they're not going to remember any of this information. Right? And I'm not saying that in a bad way. That's how most people talk. Most people talk to be forgotten. Okay. We can't necessarily make people remember what we say, but we can make people remember how we made them feel. And right now, this feels a little forgettable to me. It feels forgettable because it's doing what everyone else is going to be doing. Okay. So this ties back into Mia's comments about being expressive and things like that. Okay. So we have to think of a way, potentially, if you want this to become even more impactful, we have to maybe get some more personality into this part here.
I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in international education. I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in international education.
This is where all those things we talk about, about elements of contrast, speed, pitch, volume, maybe changing the stresses. I'm from Shenzhen, China, so stressing the city, and I work in international education. Versus I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work international education. Now, some people aren't going to like that and be like, who is this person talking like this funny way? But some people are going to be like, oh, well, this is an interesting person. They don't talk how everyone else talks. It's the reason why sometimes when people do, there's always the people that try to stand out in these sorts of interactions. When you have 20 people introducing themselves, there's always that one person that's like, I'm going to just do, excuse me, sorry, I am, there's always that guy. But why they're doing that because it creates a more memorable experience. Because right now, nothing's really standing out. So I would be asking myself, are there ways I can convey personality that's appropriate for the video, but that separates me from others?
I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in international education.
Okay. The other thing too is that the rising intonation.
I'm from Shenzhen, China, and
I'm from Shenzhen, China, and I work in this. I'm from Shenzhen, China. Falling attention versus rising. Okay. Little things like that. I would be asking myself, how can I get more personality in here? So right now it feels kind of clinical. And that's these are things we'll talk about in the group too. You know, this is why we're here. All right, well, first of all, thank you guys for joining me in the pilot for the Magnet Lab. I'm very excited. So again, the Magnet Lab is going to be our opportunity to go more in depth to how we talk and how we communicate to people. Ideally, you know, trying to be as expressive, as evocative, and as powerful as we can with our voices. Okay, it's our greatest tool. It's the greatest asset that we have in order for inspiring change. And so I want to make sure that when we talk, we're able to do it in a way that is, you know, able to do what we want to do with our audience. I think a lot of times when we talk, we're not very intentional. We're not really thinking about the impact that we have on others. Whereas just taking a couple of moments to really kind of concentrate, like, oh, I want to convey this, I want to do this, just trying to speak with a little bit more intentionality and focus. And I think that a lot of this, what we go over, is not just going to make you more effective at communicating even in like one language. I think this is going to be universal. You know, so if English isn't your first language, I think there's still things you're going to take away from this to apply to your first language as well. That being said, this is the schedule. So each class, in general, aiming to be about 30 minutes. The goal is to try to get through 2 people's files in that time. And when I say get through files, we're not going to do the whole thing, you know, because sometimes we're going to be dealing with, you know, content that's long, you know. So we're just going to try to identify some specific moments. Or, for instance, if you, let's say, for instance, you want to do like a podcast. Let's say you want to do like a YouTube video. Let's say you're trying to practice reading aloud a poem or something like that. So what you can do is you can try to give me some direction, like, hey, I'm worried about the intro, I'm worried about the middle, I'm worried about the end, and then we can highlight that part. The last thing I'll say is that this is all going to be happening inside of a forum. Some of you are already members of my writing group, and it's going to be in that forum, but in a special section. And so what's going to happen in the future is that when you actually submit your videos or your audio files, you're actually going to make a post to include it. Okay, so you can create a post. So what's going to happen is we're going to have all the people's videos and things here. And in class, I'll just pick 2, you know, to go over in the class. But then afterwards, we can also give asynchronous feedback as well. So if you see someone's video and you're like watching it and you have an idea about something that would be helpful for them, then you can leave, you know, a comment for them too. Okay, so we'll have our in-person, you know, our virtual in-person sessions, but then also asynchronously. You can say, hey, you can even like put questions like, hey guys, I made this quick little video. Any quick thoughts would be helpful or something like that. And then people can type. This is my typing motion. People can type on their keyboards and say, hey, this is what I would do. Okay, so everything will be here.